Hey guys, I'm going to do the MLB predictions in a separate video. That video was just too slow and I didn't have time to talk about it, so I want to have more time to discuss. So in the wild card, as I predicted, I said the Twins would lose to the Blue Jays, and I think in 2 games. I think the Blue Jays, overall, in my opinion, are a lot better. I know I've talked my shit about the Blue Jays, but when you look at their offense on paper, the Blue Jays' offense is a lot better, in my opinion. I think the bats for the Blue Jays have to show up. I think this is where Vladdy and Bo have to have legacy games. This is against the Twins. They're not that good. You're going to be in Toronto, so you have the advantage there. Your fan base is going to light up. And I think when you just watch Toronto, and what you look at here, is that their offense is on paper better. Then I think the Blue Jays will win 2-0, and they'll take on Astros or Orioles. I don't know who they play. I think the Orioles play the Rays, and they play Houston. I got to look at the bracket as it goes, so I'll give you an update there. But I just know who they'll play in the next round. Then I'm going to go Rays over the Rangers. I know that's kind of crazy. I think they'll win 2-1 in Game 3 of the wild card round in the AL. I just don't trust the Rangers pitching. And the Rays are veterans. They've been in the playoffs before. They've won. They know what it takes to win, to get to a World Series, and they've been in that position in the COVID year, which shouldn't count, but neither here or there. This is the Rays' time. They are veterans. They've been in the playoffs before. I think the Rangers have been out for a while, and that might get in their heads a little bit. I do think the Rangers can pull an upset off, but I think the Rays, just with Randy, you have Yandy, your bats are really good, and that could overpower, I think, the Rangers all pitching a little bit. And we've talked about Randy Arozarena and how he's a playoff player. He performs in the playoffs. He's been in these spots before, in the big moments, and I think that's what will give the Rays the advantage in this series against the Rangers. I think the bats having that veteran leadership role will be, I think, will have a spark when you look at the Rangers who have veterans, but obviously Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, who hasn't really been in there for a long time, and then obviously the pitching. But I think what gives the Rays the advantage is just having that playoff success and knowing what it takes to win, and that's what gives the Rays the advantage. Then in the NL side of things, I got Diamondbacks over Brewers. I think that's interesting, and people are saying the Brewers are sleepers, and I'm not disagreeing with Diamondbacks. To me, I love Corbin Carroll. I think with a younger team going into it, it will be tough for them to beat. But we've seen that the Diamondbacks can beat some of these teams. And I think they'll win 2-1. I think the Brewers will struggle to put them away in terms of offense. So there you go there. Next game, we'll go Phillies and Marlins. And when we talk about these two teams, Phillies and Marlins, the big topic is, can the Marlins hold their own? Well, no. The Phillies' offense is just on fire right now, and they're in the playoffs again. And they have a lot of players. They have Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. They have Trey Turner. They have guys who have been in the playoffs before and have won. They know what it takes to win. I think the Marlins are going to be I like Jazz, but I think that being in the playoffs and not being used to playing right field could hurt him in the center field, especially when you're in the playoffs. You're new to it. You don't really know how to track balls better, and they're hit a lot harder. The playoffs is all about coming out and showing what you're worth. And I think the Marlins, who, again, have made it in the past years, will be I don't see them taking down the Phillies. And I think the Phillies are just better. I think they've had the experience before, and that's what's going to prevail them into the ALDS. And the NLDS. So, whether or not Rays are done, and I think Blue Jays are done, I think the Astros and Orioles, when you look at both teams, Astros are veterans. Astros know what it takes to win, and I think Toronto isn't good. I think Toronto is going to get hit bad, and whoever they play, I think the Orioles, I just don't see Toronto's bats doing anything against the Astros or if they have to play the Rays. I think something I've always said about the Astros is their bats are just always on fire, and I feel like they have the most experience out of all the teams that are in, and I think that's what gives the Astros, to me, that edge. I think the Astros always win. They find a way to win, even if they cheat, and if you want to call them cheaters, call them cheaters, but the Astros know what it takes to win. The Astros have been in the spotlight before, and they're not too far from it, and I think when you look at the Astros and you look at it differently, comparing it to the Blue Jays, who I think are inexperienced, I think that's what's going to kick the Blue Jays out, and I think the bats will slow down, and the Astros' offense and pitching is just going to overlap them. And when I've always watched the Astros, I know their bats come alive. Altuve, I know they don't have Correa, but they have bats. They have Bregman, they have Altuve, and they have Alvarez. And you have Pena. Guys have proven they can do it. He's won the ALCS MVP. Jeremy Pena obviously won the MVP last year, and how he turned on. So you can never doubt the Astros, and I've learned that in the past few years. They're just like the Patriots. You can never doubt them. Like, that's just what Houston's going to be. And I think just having the experience over a team with rookies and not known, I see the Blue Jays struggling. I don't think they're going to really be able to handle them, and I think the Astros kind of get control of it. However, I do think the Blue Jays can sneak out some wins, but I have it going to 5, and I have them winning 4-2. I think the Blue Jays are just going to get outmatched, and that's what's going to prevail them. So, you go there. Rays and Orioles, I think the Orioles have that pitching. Now, Bautista will hurt them, and I think that's what's going to get closer. I think it goes to Game 5, and I think the Orioles will outmatch them, and I think they'll go win up 3-2. I think that's just what's going to happen. I just don't see how the Rays can really outduel them, especially if the Orioles' bats are hot. I think that just wins them that. Then in the AL side of things, I got Dodgers over Diamondbacks. I think it's pretty easy. Dodgers are veterans too, and I just don't see it being competitive. I have the Dodgers sweeping the Diamondbacks or Brewers. They could go either way, but the Dodgers are just better. I think they've always been a playoff performer, and Mookie Betts has always shined bright in the playoffs. And we know about Christian Yelich. We know about Yelich and Donaldson. We know about these guys, but the Braves are just Dodgers are just so much better, and I think that's just having veterans who have been in the playoffs before. Freddie Freeman, too, if we've forgotten what he can do when he turns it on. So, there you go there. And then Braves over Phillies, I think it's just pretty obvious here. I do have it going 4-2. It's going to be a competitive series. I just think the Braves' bats will do more. I think when you watch Acuna, he's waiting to get his chance, and Matt Olson, their bats are going to be hot, and their pitching is going to be good. So, and I know they're not going to take their foot off the gas pedal when they play. So, got the Braves here. In the ALCS, give me the Houston Astros over the Orioles. That's an upset pick, and I think people are going to pick the Orioles to win. And I know that, and I like that. But I think Houston, when you look at the Astros, what have they always been? A veteran team. The Orioles have too many rookies. They're without Felix Bautista, which will hurt them, especially in the big game. And I think Houston, this will go to 7. This is going to be a tough test for them. I think the Orioles just get outplayed. I think the Houston Astros just know what it takes to win. Again, having veterans who have been in the playoffs before is a better advantage than having a team who hasn't been in there in the spotlight before. And they're new. They don't know the adversity you have to do. And the Astros have always been a thorn to teams. So, give me Houston in 6. Going 5, winning 4-2. I think Houston's better, and I think they're more equipped for this. Well equipped. So, there you go there. Final game, Braves and Dodgers. Give me the Braves to upset the Dodgers in 6. And again, Braves. In the World Series, give me Braves in a Game 7, down to the wire, 3-3. Give me the Braves to come out on top. Ronald Acuna Jr. wins MVP. And that is my World Series predictions. See you.